Hey guys, it's Katie at scrappinkaty.ctmh.com, and I am sharing the Craft with Heart layout subscription for July 2020, and this is for the first layout. Now, I've already pulled my photos, and then here is a look at the fully color illustrated guide that you get with each monthly subscription. Now, this guide walks you through everything, and I have already pulled the photo mats for layout 1, and then now I just need to pull the photo placeholders. Now, these placeholders are meant if you are going to make these layouts ahead of time and then put your photos on later, but I like to use them as a white border around my photos. So then I'm going to pull the 2 pre-printed layout bases for layout 1, and then put everything for layout 2 to the side. Now you get a sticker sheet and a die cut sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out all the die cuts for layout 1, and you can see that those are clearly labeled, and then you can see how easy they come out. Now, the instruction sheet says to start adhering down the photo mats and gather your photos. So I'm just going to trim down all my photos. I have sped this up quite a bit. Now, I needed to keep in mind that these photo mats, because I wanted the white mat from the photo placeholder around my photo, that I need to trim those 3x4s to 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then that 4x6 to 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So a little bit of that white mat shows around each photo. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere all those photo placeholders onto my photo mats, and I'm just using regular tape adhesive, but you could use anything, maybe your favorite adhesive if it's not tape. So now it says to start adhering down the stickers. So I'm just taking these flower stickers and kind of following the guide from that illustration that each kit comes with. And if you notice, I'm not pressing down too hard on these flowers, just in case I decide to move them, or you'll see here in a second, I do decide to add some of our thin 3D foam circles under several of the petals. Now, I'm not doing it on each petal. I just want to make sure that a couple of those pop up to add dimension. So for this photo whale, I am going to use a landscaped version and then move all of those 3x4s to the right layout. Now, I did want to keep with that border sticker as well as this half tag around this 4x6. On the inspiration layout, it does go on the top, but I've decided to put it on the bottom since my photo is landscape and I just needed some stuff down there. So for that open space in the middle of all those flowers, there is a scalloped circle. Now, it is kind of a flower of sorts. It's just different. So because it's different, I want to make sure that it stands out. So I'm going to use my anti-static pouch to take the stickiness off the back. And then I'm just going to use some of those foam squares that come in the middle of our shaker window foam and acetate sheets. And those are perfect because it's a little bit thicker than our thin 3D foam tape as well as just our regular foam tape. So for this right layout, like I said, I am moving all of these 3x4 photos to that right layout. And I'm also going to make one of the photo wells a flip flap. So I've pulled our 3x4 flip flaps. The flap comes on the landscape side or the portrait side. So I've decided to do the landscape side. And I think I'm going to do that bottom photo. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that top one down and then pull out my T-ruler to make sure that I have it straight. And then go ahead and get that one that's to the left of it adhered down. And then here is where I'm going to do the photo, the flip flap. So I've just taken off that sticky part and then put my photo mat underneath that flip flap to make sure I have it centered. And then I can adhere that photo mat down directly to my layout base. So for my last photo mat, I've just pulled out my T-ruler again to make sure it is straight with all the other ones. And then I'm going to start decorating these pieces. Now there is this cute little bow. I've added some foam circles to. I'm not going to adhere it down quite yet. And then there's this grouping of a scallop circle and some flowers on that right layout. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with that, so I've pulled out that left layout to try to finish it up first. So I'm going to add one of my foam adhesive sheets to the back of that 4x6 and then just glue that down. And then I'm going to start with my title. Now, the title for this is In This Moment, which really can go for anything. It'll go perfect with the photos that I pulled out of my daughter and her friends. And I just want to make sure that that M overlaps that flower just a little bit to make sure everything is kind of cohesive, and it just makes it blend well if things overlap each other. So I've left a little bit of space between that flower and the word in because I am going to add some of those leaves that come on the sticker sheet. And then I'm going to finish off the flower arrangement on this left layout. So that yellow one's supposed to go there. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. So I've decided not to put that down yet. And then so now I'm going to add some of the die cuts. And these tiny little flowers will be the center for those flower stickers that are already adhered down. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding foam tape to the back of those flowers so I can kind of put them where I want them and decide where I want them to go before I peel off that adhesive backing. Now you can't see, but I do have that inspirational layout over to the left that I am referencing quite often. Now I did decide to, I just thought that this layout needed some more black. So I'm doing one of my thread jumbles and then adding it underneath that little die cut flower. And then I'm just going to go ahead and peel off that 3D foam backing to the rest of these flowers and that bow and go ahead and adhere it down. So I kind of messed up. That photo was supposed to go directly on top of that half tag, but I didn't really pay attention. So now I am just trying to piece together some sort of border underneath it. So I just cut an edge off of the sticker sheet and I've put that under there. And then I've gone ahead and adhered that circular scalloped flower down in the center. So now I'm going to work on the flower grouping over here. Now this I've decided to go ahead and put that yellow flower since it really isn't going to fit. And again, I wanted to bring that black over to this right layout. So I've done another thread jumble, and then I'm going to put that orange die cut flower on top of that, and then go ahead and adhere that bow down. I'm just going to add a couple of more flowers. Some of them I am going to use some 3D foam tape and then some of these sticker leaves and stick those out. So on this left layout, I am going to go ahead and put the rest of the leaves down. And you can see right there that that's the perfect spot for those two leaves to the side of the rest of that title. Now these little journaling lines, I've just put those on that little pennant of the pre-printed layout. And then I am trying to decide where to put these little flags. They were supposed to go on that white scalloped circle, but I just didn't like it. So I've decided to add some foam tape and put them on the bottom of the photo well. And then I'm just taking some twine from my stash, put it through the holes of that tag, and then I want those tails to kind of stay in place. So I'm using our little micro dots, and I am just grabbing those off of the carrier sheet and then adhering those to my layout base so those little tails stay where they are shown. So now I'm going to show you how to do a flip flap. So I've put my layout in my memory protector, and now I'm going to pull a ruler. I prefer one with a steel edge and an X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut a slit. And then I am going to take a silent eyelet setter. Yeah, I still have a bunch of eyelets and I have that setter. And it just helps to do a circle at the end of those cuts so your memory protector doesn't keep on cutting, I guess. That flap doesn't get longer. And then you can see that that flip flap just slid right on the inside or on the outside of that memory protector. So here is a look at the finished layouts. And remember that you can subscribe to the Craft with Heart subscription using the link down below. And if you liked what you saw, I would love a thumbs up and a comment. And as always, I would love to have you subscribe and sign up for notifications.